What's it like to live in China as a working family? Hi, I'm Ken. I'm 39, a software engineer living in Changsha, Hunan, Central China. In my last video about payday, I received a lot of comments asking why we wear jackets indoors. Although I've pinned a reply, it's probably not something that can be explained in just a few words. So I made this video to show you why that's the case and what we do to survive the winter. Changsha is a southern Chinese city at around 28 degrees north latitude, about 1,400 kilometers south of Beijing, 650 kilometers north of Guangzhou, and 1,000 kilometers west of Shanghai. Like many cities across southern China, Chengdu, Nanchang, Hangzhou, Nanjing, and Shanghai included, Changsha gets genuinely cold in winter, typically from December through February. And it's not just the temperature, humidity stays high, so 4 Celsius degree here feels far colder than it sounds. This is the subtropical monsoon climate of China. Summers are hot, humid, and drenched in heavy rain. Winters are drier overall, but when it rains, it's often a light all-day drizzle that seeps into your clothes, your walls, and your bones. In the subtropical monsoon climate of southern China, ventilation matters more than insulation. Why? Because hot and humid days last far longer than cold ones, and the latent airflow keeps us cooler in summer while preventing mold year-round. This principle goes back centuries. Traditional Chinese architecture was built for breathability. Courtyards, open halls, and strategic window placement weren't just aesthetic; they were survival tactics. Even feng shui, often seen as a mystical, was fundamentally practical. It balanced wind and water. In gardens like the humble administrators, this creates outdoor spaces that feel comfortable for much of the year, especially in spring, autumn, and even the hottest summer days. But here's the irony. Those ancient designers likely never imagined how bone-chillingly damp a southern Chinese winter could be without central heating. Today, that legacy lives on. Most apartments here still prioritize cross ventilation. Windows on both north and south sides are prized because they create natural airflow. Why? Because people would rather endure cold than dampness. Wet clothes, clammy quilts, and musty walls are the real enemies. So our homes are built to breathe, not to seal. Which makes me wonder if your house is well insulated, does it just stay dry and feel breathable? Because here we've always assumed you can't have both. Dryness means sitting up, but sitting up means stuffiness. So if your home manages to be warm, dry, and airy, that sounds like a luxury we rarely get here. Since the rooms are all open and lack insulation, central heating systems were never originally designed for southern cities. There are so many doors and windows that heat can hardly be kept indoors, so local heaters seem more practical. In the living room, we have this electric fire table. You can turn it on and set an appropriate temperature level. We sit around this table, children study or read books here, and we may watch TV or chat here. It's a place for our family time in winter. This is our study room, and also where I work remotely from. If the temperature drops below 10 Celsius degree, I'll turn on my food heater and hand warmer. And once it falls below 5 Celsius degree, I'll also turn on the air conditioner. Since the rooms aren't insulated and are heated independently, when I walk out of my study room and go into the kitchen to make tea or just pass through the living room, I'm stepping into a freezing space. So wearing jackets indoors is still necessary, and honestly, it's just practical. What about bathing? We have a gas water heater that runs on piped natural gas. On our faucet, turning the handle to the left gives hot water, and to the right gives cold water. In winter, we always close the bathroom window and turn on the bathroom heater in advance to warm up the room so we don't feel cold while showering. Wearing jackets indoors is completely normal, and nobody worries it will make the house dirty. We clean regularly and we are careful. Duckies never touch food, so there is no risk of contamination. When it comes to hygiene, we are actually quite meticulous. Daily showers, underwear and everyday clothes are washed daily. Duckies only when they get dirty, usually every 2 weeks or so. Quills are cleaned once a month. We usually shower before bed, and if we've been sweating from exercise, we try to wash up as soon as possible. Even in the coldest weeks, when we might skip bathing for 2 or 3 days, if we sweat, we wash. Fresh air matters deeply to us. For me, constant airflow keeps my nose clear and my mind calm. That's why, even in my Shanghai office, with its central heating and shirt-only dress code, I always feel stuffy by afternoon. And nothing bothers people more than dampness, especially wet quilts. So once it's sunny, especially in winter, people bring their quilts up to the rooftop to air them out. In southern cities, winter sunshine is so precious that every ray counts. All these habits, wearing layers indoors, keeping things dry, washing regularly, are about staying healthy in a damp, cold winter. But we don't just defend against the cold, we also try to build strength to resist it. That's why exercise matters. Right now, I'm focusing on my arms. Sometimes, physical ones isn't enough. What really matters is hard ones. Even with the family around, dinner can feel quiet. So our neighbors and our family may eat together. Our neighbors are better at cooking than we are, and they make hot pots and delicious native dishes from their hometowns. In such a cold winter, having a hot pot, drinking red wine, and chatting is more than enough to make you forget the cold. And winter is even a good excuse to have hot pot together.
不急着这反出来，今天
Even though it's cold, people never forget to enjoy happiness outside. This is a pedestrian street in Changsha. Although it's cold and even rainy, people's enthusiasm isn't affected at all.
Yeah, this is the biggest milk tea shop. The brand name is 蜜雪冰城.
It sells both bubble tea and ice cream.
So I'm wondering if you guys will eat popsicle or ice creams in the winter. Oh, yeah.
This tofu, Stinky tofu, is one of my favorite street foods. Since we are here, why not try it?
能帮我带点点汤是吗？
现在不是拌汤的，淋了会咸不？
啊，
淋了会咸，要
有点那个甜的，没味道。
淋点汤，彪哥，淋点汤。咸了。
Spicy food can definitely warm your body and warm your heart. What surprised you the most? And what else would you like to know about our daily life? Leave a comment below. I read everyone. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. I'll keep sharing real life and local culture from China. Thank you for watching. See you next time.